Let's talk about it. Jim Harbaugh is still out there, and now apparently he has told a big-time recruit for the University of Michigan that he is in fact open to returning to the NFL. Entertaining the thought of returning to the NFL. Will Meade, and I don't know who Will Meade is, hedge fund guy. He's got a lot of followers on Twitter. Says he's calling it. Chicago Bears next head coach will be Jim Harbaugh. 49-22 in the NFL. It's an almost 70% winning percentage. He would really help Justin Fields. As a Bears fan, I would love to see Harbaugh be the next Bears coach. And then Harbaugh told a top 24/7 signee of the plan to entertain NFL options. And I do think if there was ever a time to entertain the thought of going back, there's some big-time jobs open. Yeah. Two situations that he's familiar with. He's familiar with Mark Davis and the Oakland Raiders, or the Las Vegas Raiders organization, and of course he played for Chicago. They love him in that town. He is revered in that town. Could he go back to Chicago like he came back to Michigan? They do have a quarterback. He'd bring some toughness. They're going to get a new stadium in the next 3 to 5 years. Look, I don't know if he's leaving. I still think he's staying. John U. Bacon tweeted out yesterday, and there is a slight correction to it, that the University of Michigan does not currently have anything really lined up in terms of NIL deals. They do have the MDen situation and Valiant, which is John Wangler's situation, and Valiant has lined up about $500,000 for student athletes at the University of Michigan. But $500,000 when you're trying to win national, and that's great. I'm not trying to poo-poo that. Please don't mistake what I'm saying. You're talking about $500,000 per player, $1 million for big-time players. That's what happened at Texas A&M. Texas A&M getting all these big-time recruits because their school has helped set up these NIL deals, which, is just right up against that line of being a violation. But what is a violation in 2022? We still don't know. But the University of Michigan, I think Jim Harbaugh is trying to figure out, hey, do we as an athletic department, do we as a university, do we have what needs to be in place for us to compete with the big boys? Is that here? Right now, it's not.
Let me just play devil's advocate. Let me look at it from the side of him potentially leaving. And let me say him looking at the landscape and potentially leaving. Is there a situation where he looked at Michigan and looked at him like Notre Dame, how Brian Kelly looked at Notre Dame and said, I can't win here. Like, I can't get over that last hump here.
Great point.
So is it one of those situations to where now, and once again, I'm playing devil's advocate. So now I'm Jim Harbaugh, and I say, you know what? I finally did enough of what I said I was going to do. I got the team to where they now understand how to win games. They understand how to be physical. I got the coaches in. I got the connectivity in. I got the Mike Harts, the Coach Klinks. I got Ron Bellamy's. They have that connectivity with the players now. They feel good. I got the right offensive coordinator in here. I got the right defensive coordinator in here. We beat Ohio State in great fashion. We went to Indianapolis finally. It wasn't Rome. It wasn't South Africa. It wasn't London. It was Indianapolis, and they got the job done. They beat Kirk Ferentz. So if I'm leaving right now, I've set Michigan up to be on the right path. Now I can go finish some unfinished business in the NFL. And that unfinished business is I got ran out of a way in which I didn't want to get run out by Jed York as well as Trent Baalke. Chicago is, like you said, a franchise I'm familiar with. Mark Davis is an owner I'm familiar with. The only thing is, will you make it 3 to 5 years? If you want to go back to that. But back to devil's advocate. And it's good money. You see what Matt Rule got paid in Carolina.
$8 million a year.
For nothing. And you saw what Urban Meyer got paid.
$12 million a year.
So, and you're in Chicago. Chicago.
He's a 12. For him to go back to the NFL, he's a $12 million a year guy.
It's a $12 million guy. And to be honest, if we're still playing devil's advocate, he doesn't go have to ask for that money. See, now in Michigan, he's in an interesting situation. He took the declination last year of money. He took the declining. He took that. You know what? I bet on myself. Here's 4.3. He took that deal. So now with people getting paid like Tuck's coming, with Brian Kelly, with Lincoln Riley, and the buku deal that he got. Maz loves that 24-hour jet, by the way.
Beautiful.
It's his favorite part of the deal.
It's the best part of the deal. So you're looking at that situation, and you're like, I don't want to go beg for money from Michigan when they were already paying me $10 million when I wasn't a good coach. Now I am a good coach, and now I have a good track record with the things that I said I was going to do. I don't want to go beg. I don't want to go in front of Ward's office. You know what? I'll just go to NFL and see if I can get that team turned back around. That's the devil's advocate side of it.
Money aside, college football is different. Yeah. Forget about the $95 million that Tucker made, and boy, was I wrong about that.
College football used to be easier.
Yeah, my assessment of that Mel Tucker contract when it happened was so wrong. I almost want to apologize. Like I was just so thinking in terms of 2019.
Yeah, you want to laugh.
You know what I mean?
Let's give the people an insight. Like, he and I legitimately were going back and forth on text for about 3 weeks. I was like, would you just stop worrying about the deal?
I just had it wrong. I just had it wrong. And we're going to do that from time to time.
I'm wrong all the time.
Right. But, college football is totally different than it was.
It's harder.
It is harder, and not only do you have to recruit these kids,
keep them
for 3-4 years almost, many of them, to sign with your team. Once they sign with you, Braylon, you have to recruit them year after year.
Yeah.
You have to recruit them their freshman year to make sure they get to their sophomore year. You have to recruit them their sophomore year to make sure they get to their junior year, and so on.
Coaches didn't have to used to kiss butt. Like coaches, there would be a player. Like, there would be a special player. Like, Lloyd and C. Wood had a special relationship. Lloyd, Chris Perry, special relationship. Drew Henson. Like, there's certain Mike Hart and Lloyd, special. Lamar Woodley. Like, there's certain players on teams back then, but it's one player. If I'm Cooper, it's Eddie George. And then it's fast forward, it's Maurice Claret,
or whoever.
So now. That's every player that you got to have a relationship with where you're talking to. You're kissing some ass.
Coach, I thought I'd get about $50K this season. Where's my $10,000 this month?
Yeah.
You guys are selling me, by the way.
The check is late.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to move.
Yeah.
But the more you guys are talking, the more, if I'm him, let's just put me and my personality. I don't want those kids coming up to me and saying, "Oh yeah, where's my extra $10,000?"
Coach, I thought I got $5K this month.
Yeah,
no,
hey man, that check a little light. His envelope's a little light.
And if I'm going to yell at you as a player, he says, "Well, I'm going to go to the transfer portal." I mean, who does really want to put up with this crap from kids?
Right. And I guess the only equalizer is the amount of money that a coach can make in college. I do believe is more than you can make in the NFL, because you can take
But you're constantly working.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the great equalizer. So it depends on what your motivation is. There's not a lot of college guys that can go to the NFL and succeed. We saw that proven with Urban Meyer. We had the list, and I'm sorry I didn't ask for the list prior to the show, but we put the list up of the 20 guys that were college head coaches and NFL head coaches. We did it about a month ago.
Like Dave Weinstein.
And there was one guy that was good at it, and it was him. Yeah. So not every coach. So, but that was 20 years ago. But he did. Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh. But what I'm saying is, not every college coach can jump to the NFL. Yeah. Urban Meyer made that very clear. Nick Saban, I think Nick Saban was a good NFL coach, and if the Miami Dolphins would have done what he asked,
they won the AFC East in 2008.
If they did what he asked and went out and got Drew Brees, he might still be coaching in the NFL, to be honest with you. The general manager wouldn't get Drew Brees. He wanted Drew Brees. Brees went to New Orleans, and the rest is history on that. So I'm not poo-pooing this NFL story at all, to use a phrase from Rob Parker.
I'm not either anymore.
I'm just saying, I think he'll stay at Michigan, but I would not be shocked if he chose to go to the NFL. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't blame him.